Generation of business ideas refers to, or project ideas refers to, the process of identifying possible business opportunities. Market analysis is the systematic study of the market in which the proposed business will operate. It involves breaking down the entire project into a series of interrelated activities and arranging them in a logical sequence to ensure timely completion of the project. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nikhilavati S, Faculty of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. I welcome you all for the sessions on the subject Entrepreneurship Development, and we are discussing in the second chapter, that is Developing Successful Business Ideas, Recognizing Opportunities. And we have also discussed what are all the trend analysis that can be done in order to identify the business opportunities. And here in this session, we will be discussing about generation and screening the project ideas. So here project ideas refers to the process of identifying possible business ideas. So here generation of business ideas refers to, or project ideas refers to, the process of identifying possible business opportunities. So it is the first and most creative stage of entrepreneurship, as well as at this stage the entrepreneurs look for ideas that can be converted into profitable businesses. So here the more importance is given to the generation of the ideas, as well as some of the sources of project ideas we can get from the personal experience and skills, sometimes the customer problems, the prevailing situations in the market, changing lifestyles, and the trend analysis, and also the customer's complaints sometimes can be used as an opportunity to provide the solutions through your product and services. Then brainstorming sessions, as we discussed in the last session, so where a group of people are left to discuss the ideas. So the ideas can also be generated through brainstorming sessions and through market surveys. By doing a survey in the market, either by distributing a questionnaire or asking the people, or through personal interviews or through email or phone calls, getting the information about their choice of the product and their taste and preferences, and also the research based on the sales that are happening in the market. Then through the trade fairs and exhibitions, you can put your businesses there and see what are all the products that are easily get attracted to in the minds of the customers, and what are all the needs of the customers, etc. So through these kinds of sources, the project ideas can be generated, and also through the experiences of all these factors, the ideas can be generated, as well as screening of project ideas. So first of all, for generating ideas, there are so many n number of sources and ways to generate ideas. Once the ideas are generated, next process is screening of the ideas. Not all the ideas can be implemented very effectively. Sometimes the idea may be good, but in terms of implementation, some may not be feasible, or may not be practical. So in that case, the next procedure is screening of project ideas. So here some of the criteria for screening of the project ideas, where ideas are screened on the basis of the following factors, sometimes based on the availability of resources. So once if we decide to produce a product or a service, we should make sure that there is availability of enough capital for that, raw materials, as well as manpower, both skilled and unskilled laborers. Then market demand. So idea may be good, but at the same time, market demand is very important, because ultimately our product or a service reaches the customers. So customers have to accept it. There should be the need for that particular product which you are going to produce. In that case, the market demand is very important. Then technical feasibility is important, where the production of that particular product is possible through the technologies and availability of technology must be there. Then financial viability, where availability of finance, then the amount of risk involved in that particular business also matters. Then there are legal and environmental issues related to some of the products, like if the chemicals have to be used in that product and if they are going to harm the environment, then the business entrepreneur has to make sure that he is within that limitations of the possible limits that can be used, as well as he comes under the rules and regulations of the environmental laws. Then entrepreneur's skills, experience, knowledge is very important to run a successful business. Moving forward, market analysis. So market analysis is very important and a important phase of every businesses, where the entrepreneurs must analyze their market, and where market analysis is the systematic study of the market in which the proposed business will operate. So they have to study the market in which their proposed business is going to operate. Then it helps in understanding whether sufficient demand exists for your product and services, as well as some of the marketing analysis objectives. Why we need to do a market analysis means to estimate the present and future demand. So based on the analysis, and once you study about the demand that is there in the market, the kind of customers you have, then you can easily analyze. It helps you to analyze the present as well as future demand. So based on that, you can plan your businesses. If in case in future, if you have a high demand for your product, it's a very good thing that you can start producing that particular product. So if you feel that in future you don't have any value for that, you can take necessary actions for that, or you can keep on innovating and introducing some creative products or diversify your products. So to understand customer needs and preferences. So market analysis is very important in order to understand the customer needs. So it's not that your idea is good and you are going to produce a product. For that product, it should be, it should fulfill or satisfy the customers. So customer needs and preferences. And also market analysis helps you to study competition. So what kind of competition you have for that particular product. So say for example, for consumer durables, you have n number of similar products running in the market. So you have to differentiate your product from others. So in that case, it helps you to study competition and to decide pricing, distribution, promotion strategies. And by studying the market, you will also understand what are all the strategies or the pricing methods that are used by other competitors also. And at the same time, you can analyze the customer's demand. Based on that, you can fix a price, as well as you can set up your own distribution, way of distribution channel, as well as some of the promotion strategies. Moving forward, technical analysis. So technical analysis refers to the study of both technical as well as operational feasibility of a project. So when your business idea is converted into a product or a service, then is it technically feasible? Is it operationally feasible? And is it like, the implementation is easy or not? What kind of risks are involved? Whether the appropriate technology or suitable technology, could you afford it or not? Or whether it is available or not? And what about the operational feasibility? So here the operational feasibility refers to the day-to-day maintenance of those particular activities in the organization. So here it explains how the product or a service will be produced or delivered. So in terms of technical feasibility, it talks about how it will be produced, what kind of machineries you are going to use. In case of operational feasibility, it helps you to understand how your product can be delivered, which are the methods, what are all the types of activities that come under both like pre-production as well as post-production stages. Then why technical analysis is important. So if you look at the importance of technical analysis, it is important to ensure that smooth and efficient operations are being carried in the organization, as well as it helps in estimating production cost, so cost of manufacturing, then identifies technical problems in advance. What are all the technical problems you may face? So in advance, you are able to identify it because of the project ideas you can generate, and also because of the technical analysis. So by doing the technical analysis, you can also avoid wastage of resources. Some of the components of technical analysis includes, say for example, the nature and size of your business, defining your location of the plant, and what kind of machineries can be used, etc. Moving forward, we have cost benefit analysis and network analysis. So here it is one of the important aspect in every business. So by analyzing cost and benefit analysis. So here idea becomes a reality when, in the form of a product or a service. But at the same time, the cost of manufacturing that product and service is very important, because if the cost of manufacturing is high, then you're not going to, gain a profit, particularly in the shorter period of time. Then in the longer period also, you have to work on reducing the manufacturing cost, or either you have to set the price of your product high. So if it is a new product, it will not be easily accepted by the market. So customers will analyze whether that particular product is worth giving that much of amount or not. So it is very important to analyze the cost benefit analysis, where you will also calculate the manufacturing cost, and you will calculate the price that you can fix, and what is the cost benefit you can get. So what is the price at which you will sell the product? So manufacturing cost and selling cost difference is calculated, where if the selling cost is higher than your manufacturing cost, then there are the possibilities of earning more and more profit. So basically, cost and benefit analysis is a systematic technique used by entrepreneurs to evaluate the economic feasibility of a proposed business idea. So the economic feasibility, at the lowest price possible, the entrepreneur will try to produce a product or project by comparing its expected cost with its anticipated benefits. So here the main purpose of cost benefit analysis is to determine whether the benefits undertaking a project outweigh the cost involved, and whether the project is worth pursuing. So this is cost benefit analysis. Moving forward, cost include all kinds of expenses that are incurred in the process of producing a product, and as likely to incur, such as initial investment, cost of land and building, like investments in the assets, then machinery, equipment. So the investment that is made on the fixed asset, as well as the raw materials, wages and salaries, and power, utilities, marketing expenses, both direct and indirect expenses, maintenance cost, and administrative cost, operational cost, etc. So for every business, initial investment will include lot of capital in terms of fixed assets, as well as you have to manage with the day-to-day operational expenses too. So it's very important to make decision and calculate the cost and benefit analysis, and then you can take up that particular idea into reality. Moving forward, we have network analysis. So what is all about network analysis? Network analysis is a project planning and control technique that is used by entrepreneurs to plan, schedule, coordinate, and monitor the various activities involved in a business project. So it's all about coordinating the activities, controlling the activities, and also monitor various activities, because once you monitor and control, then only you can achieve efficiency as well as effectiveness. Then it involves breaking down the entire project into a series of interrelated activities and arranging them in a logical sequence to ensure timely completion of the project. So here the entire project is divided into small activities, and that particular activity is taken care, and they are also structured or in a sequence that it is, which involves a logical sequence to ensure that it is completed on time and correctly with very minimum wastages. As well as network analysis helps identify the order in which the activities should be performed, as well as the time required for each activity and the dependencies among activities. So it applies to both production of products as well as services. In terms of manufacturing products or manufacturing industries, where the sequence on the phase through which a raw material has to pass through to until till it becomes a finished good. So all that phases are defined earlier. So this network analysis helps the entrepreneur to work more, effectively as well as efficiently, and also to increase productivity and to complete the task on time. Then moving forward, we have dealing with basic and initial problems of setting up of enterprises. That means what are all the problems that an entrepreneur will face at the time of starting a business. So these are the initial problems that an entrepreneur faces, or initial problems of setting up an enterprise. So here the first and foremost thing is financial problems. So every entrepreneur may face the financial problems in the beginning stages, as is required to invest a lot of funds in the businesses. So generally new enterprises will require a lot of fixed asset investment as well as the working capital requirements at the initial stages. So that will lead to financial problems. Then comes the location problems, the problem of deciding where to locate your plant or a factory or your business. Because if it is a manufacturing business, you need to make sure that for setting up your factory, you need required resources around you. So not only just land and building, the machineries, transportation, you have to worry about the transportation, the route of transportation, cost of transportation, as well as whether you are near to the raw materials, or whether you are near to the supplier, or whether you are near to the customers or to the market. So choosing a location is a major problem for every manufacturing unit. And not only that, for service industries, they have to choose a location where they are near to the market, and where there are more people and the target market for their product. So the entrepreneurs can conduct a location analysis and consider what are all the factors which are going to affect a location selection, as well as they can choose such an industrial hub which is where the infrastructure is very good. Next comes raw material and input problems. So raw materials as well as input, where these are all the materials and resources that are needed for the production of a product. So here the raw materials are very important part of every production, where the entrepreneurs have to worry about regular supply of raw material. Finding a regular supply of raw material is very important, and the transportation cost of raw materials are to be calculated. And it is a major problem for new businesses, as they would not be getting it either in reasonable price, or sometimes it's difficult to find a good supplier for a new businesses, and they will not even be getting for the very first time, they cannot get the raw materials on credit. So that are the problems that the entrepreneur faces in terms of raw material and input problems. Next comes manpower problems. So especially for new businesses, they have to find skilled laborers. So it's a challenging task for the businesses, where they have to go through, they have to give enough advertisements regarding the vacancies. Then they have to go through a selection process, where they have to choose the employees based on their skills. Sometimes they need to train the employees properly and explain them the job requirements, and a training has to be done for the employees. They should be very proper in terms of their recruitment process, etc. So they may face this issue of manpower problems. Then marketing problems. So this is one of the major issue or challenging problem for, especially for new businesses. So ultimately, whatever, even though your product is, with good quality and reasonable price, sometimes if the marketing fails, then you cannot reach the customers well. So in that case, marketing is very important, where you have to spend a lot of money, efforts on promoting your product. And marketing is a bigger problem for new businesses. Then comes legal and procedural problems, where the businesses have to go through a lot of procedures and legal requirements, registrations, and that red tapeism of the government rules and regulations, etc. Then managerial and operational problems, where sometimes managerial problems include lack of managing capacity or a skill by an entrepreneur, or they don't know, since the entrepreneur is new to the business, he or she might not have good managing ability or an awareness regarding what kind of management methods they have to use, and even in terms of operational activities. So initially, these are the problems that an entrepreneur faces while setting up a new enterprise. So this was all regarding the project ideas, generating, screening of the project ideas, testing the feasibility of the project ideas, as well as we have discussed the problems that an entrepreneur faces while starting a new business. Hope you all have understood it. Thank you.